Hi, I'm Eddie Obeng, and this is How. Daily, I bring you a different way of getting stuff done. And sometimes you want to do something which is better than you're currently doing. Today's is called MeliusQuo, which is about being better than. And it's about focusing so that you can make sure that the changes you make are improvements and not just changes. Let's jump onto Cube and have a look and see what we can find. So welcome to Cube, where the sun is always shining. As you can see, this is one of my favorite cubicles. It's one we put together for we offered to the G7 when they couldn't travel and they were worried about CO2 in those olden days. Now, of course, nobody cares. And so here we go. Let's jump in and have a look. There we go. So you may have noticed that the world it depends on your industry. In some industries, they're printing money. In other industries, there's a lot of change. There's a lot happening in your world. There's a lot of challenges, opportunities. There's technology, there's the way legislation is changing, your people, everything else. So for many organizations, keeping the curve going up is a big challenge. Now, when we work with people on Cube, we try to explain to them how Cube might help with this. And we have this particular diagram. We explain that, normally it's easy to bring people together to talk, to them to have meetings. And so the things which are easy for people to do to get work done, presentations, slideshows, that's how most organizations coordinate their people in order to get stuff done. It's usually quite difficult to get people to actually think together or create together. You often need a workshop, you need a facilitator. It's quite hard work. People don't naturally do that. It's quite hard sometimes to engage stakeholders. They're just not there. They're busy. They're out with investors or customers. Transparency. Something's happening in the organization. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Oh, my goodness, it was a big disaster. Culture shift, especially now when everyone's working from home. It's hard to move the culture forward. So if you need a change in terms of, ability to take risk or resilience, it's really difficult because you can't get them together. Executing stuff is still hard. Projects still fail 25% of the times and are unimpressive 50% of the times. Speed is hard. Analyzing and working with big sets of data is hard. Finding new patterns to exploit. All these are difficult. There are many other difficult things which organizations try and do. And then there are things which are totally impossible. Like if you want to have a global group and you want them to get together and have a proper meeting every single day with real thinking, time zones are still a problem. Keeping people remembering what's going on, getting stakeholder engaged, all these are things which are quite difficult. But these are all things which are really easy to do on Cube. Because basically you create a space which is persistent. Time zones don't matter because people can work for 8 hours, leave a message for the next 8 hours, leave a message for the next 8 hours. And you can literally work 24 hours round the cycle and 3 times the speed with everyone engaging. So those things are quite simple on Cube. So when we bring people on Cube and we say to them, well, what would make your life better? In other words, MeliusQuo Cube, we ask them, what are the challenges you have? What opportunities can you see? And what possibilities might happen? In other words, things you couldn't have dreamt of which might happen. So I've got some examples here. For example, gaining clarity and alignment on how to respond and use AI. That might be something which organizations are struggling with. So we might talk about how might Cube help you with this one. We might talk about things like many organizations, when they make a mistake, it's really quite costly. Many meetings to go backwards and forwards. So an opportunity to reduce that might be good. There might be things like they want to change the culture. So we'll start looking at rituals and pets like Eskimo on Cube. They might be thinking about getting a deep engagement globally. That's something which they might be struggling with. They're probably working regionally, for example. In terms of the operating model, it might be breaking the barrier between us and our most obnoxious customers. Because remember, obnoxious customers look up the pets, help you figure out what's coming next in the future. There might be some personal things like learning how to deliver excellent execution. So at a strategy level, at a business model level, organization level, operating model level, and personal level, we get them to basically brainstorm all these things. Then we prioritize using other pets. Then we figure out what we're going to do. So MeliusQuo is really a brainstorming framework which lets people understand the difference between challenges, things which are getting in their way now, things they could do, and then impossible things. And in particular on Cube, they love getting to the impossible things. You can use it anyway yourself. This is just MeliusQuo, same framework. Have a look at it in the quick guide. Try it for yourself today. Just put some stuff up there. See where you could go. See how you might deal with it. So that's it. Subscribe to the newsletter if you can. on LinkedIn. If not, subscribe to the Spotify, YouTube channel. I've been Obeng. See you again.